Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is extremely fragile explorer Dan Ryan.
Good evening and... No, I was just... Yeah, hi. I was going to copy the whole thing, but I forgot halfway through.
It's okay. I understand.
It's my first time. Be gentle.
It's time once again for the Alphabet Super Series, and my pick for the letter M was the Game Boy Color Classic, a word I use very lightly, Montezuma's Return. How does it compare to its ColecoVision prequel? Head on over to Walgreens for a spindle of your favorite CDRs, because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now.
Wow.
Hi, everyone. This is episode 513. It's the week of May 10th, 2024, and welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else was going on in our lives. Speaking of which, how the heck are you?
I'm all right, Kris. I was wondering how long it was going to take us to get to the limited run games fiasco.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Save that for week-old news.
Yeah. That's, oh boy. That was something. Anyway,
it's an interesting story, yeah. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm all right. I'm all right. It's been an exhausting week. It's been
Aren't they all?
Oh man, more and more frequently they are. And I'm not super duper jazzed about that. I don't know. I've been lacking motivation to complete things recently in the last couple of weeks. I'm not like super thrilled about that. You know?
Yeah, that's a bit of a funk.
Yeah, it's just like projects that I have to start or finish. Like, I just don't wanna. Like I do. That's the weird part about it is it's like stuff that I do actually want to do. I talked about a couple weeks ago. Every day I come home and I sit on the couch and I look at the wires hanging from the television. I'm like, man, you know, I'm gonna put those wires in that wall. And it's not a very like long project or like even all that complicated. And it's my house. I can put holes in the wall if I want to. But then it comes to like Saturday and Sunday and I'm just, nah. It's just I lack the motivation. I don't know what's going on, Kris.
I get it. And especially on projects like that. Because like something like that, there's cleanup involved. Like it's not like you can just crack the holes in the walls. Then it's just like, well, once you're done, you know, then you're done, but then you got to, put everything back. You got to sweep up the dust. It's work. It's things. It's something that's going to require motivation, and sometimes that's hard to come across. I have plenty of projects that are like that. I had one in particular today that I wound up putting off. I've been meaning to. I want to go shopping. I want to go and buy some clothes for myself because I haven't bought new clothes in a very, very long time. And I haven't exactly been feeling super good about the way I look lately. And I think to myself, I've been trying really hard with the exercise and the not eating garbage. Obviously I'm not going crazy. I'm not like a health nut, but I'm still doing the 10 push-ups and sit-ups and stuff in the morning. And I'm walking the dog for 2 miles a day and I'm not snacking. And the only dessert I have is a glass of chocolate milk at the end of the night. And I don't drink coffee. I don't drink soda. I don't drink alcohol. Like I'm trying.
Yeah, you don't have any fun.
I have no fun. I'm very boring. And I'm putting forth some effort. And it just doesn't feel, I don't feel like I'm, sometimes I'll put on some of my shitty old t-shirts and be like, wow, I'm frumpy as fuck. And
yeah,
that doesn't feel great. And
the
other problem is that my clothes are so drab because in the fall, I love fall.
Did you say drab?
I did say drab. It literally is the best word for what I'm wearing currently because like in the fall, I wear jeans every day.
Yeah.
So there's always some color involved in my situation, but a lot of my shirts are like black and brown and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the only shorts I have left, because I ripped my one colorful pair of shorts, and I haven't found a pair of denim shorts that I actually like in fucking years. I have like
Nor should you.
I love denim shorts.
Stop it. You're not allowed to wear jorts anymore, Chris.
Why?
Because they're terrible.
Hey, they're just fucking jeans, but shorter. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, no, just wear jeans.
No, absolutely not. I fucking hate wearing pants. I want to wear shorts, but I want them to be blue. So
then you gotta get some fucking like some khaki shorts, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Khaki's still brown.
You can get blue khaki fucking style, not color.
You want me to get blue khaki shorts?
Yes.
No. Why? What fucking rule is this? What is what is this fucking nonsense?
Coming to take you shopping, Chris. If I gotta fucking go take you shopping so that you don't buy jorts, that is a thing I am willing to do.
What is the matter with denim shorts? I want a fucking answer to this.
Everything is the matter with them.
No. What do you mean? You used to wear them?
No. Never. I do not and have not worn denim shorts, I think, since I was like 10.
Then explain to me what the problem is.
I don't know. They look silly.
What do you mean they look silly?
Jeans are supposed to be long.
What the fuck are you talking about? Denim is denim. It's a fucking fabric.
No.
What's wrong? They sell them at Lee.com. The problem that I ran into is that I bought this one pair of denim shorts like 5 years ago at Old Navy. And I don't know if you know this about Old Navy, but it's not for people shaped like me. It's for young, skinny people. And even though even though they were technically my size, they don't feel right. They don't work. They don't function. They just feel like I'm wearing some weird contraption instead of like, I just want loose nonsense. That's all I want out of life. It's what all my other shorts feel like. But when I went to go buy the last set of shorts I bought off of Lee's website, they were sold out of the denim in my size. So it's like, fine, I'm going to try black because I've never bought black shorts in a long time, ever. Like, why not? Let's try something new. And I like them, except now half of my outfits are black t-shirt, black shorts. And I'm like, well, that's not me. That's not colorful. That doesn't feel good. It makes me feel drab, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
But every year, and when I'm feeling like this about the shorts that I wear during the summertime, I'm like, all right, let me try. How they're the right size? How bad could they possibly be? They can't be as bad as I remember. And then I put on the denim shorts. I'm like, fuck these things. They're awful. This year I finally threw them away. I took them off after wearing them for 5 minutes and said, these go in the fucking garbage. These are garbage shorts. Get them out of my life. And there was a buy one get one half off sale on Lee.com. And I missed it by like a couple hours. I forgot to check out, and then I got distracted by television, and then it was the next morning, and I was like, shit. And then the sale was over. It's like, well, I'm not paying full price for clothes like a sucker.
No. Ugh.
So the plan is that I was going to go out and get some shopping done, like on my own, but I didn't want to do it in time that was going to be like, take me away from everything else. So I meant to go out last night. I was like, all right, we'll put the kids to bed, and then I'm just going to go out by myself and go to Kohl's and wander around and do some shopping. And then I realized that it was 8:30 when I was done putting John to bed, and Kohl's closes at 9. I was like, well, it's going to take me 15 minutes to get there, so I'm not going to wander around Kohl's for 15 minutes. That's not going to do the job. And then I meant to do it today, and I had such a hard time being motivated this week. Like, just all week long. That's not necessarily true. I had a hard time being motivated on anything outside of yard work. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I focused on doing yard work. I finally figured out, in order to not absolutely kill myself, I need to split it into 3 different things. Because I used to be like, one day I'll do backyard, one day I'll do front yard. But I live on a corner, so I have a front yard and a side yard. And I'm like, the side yard's not that big, so I can just lump that in with front yard work, and it'll be fine. And I'm always so thoroughly exhausted by the time I get to the side yard that it never gets done properly. It's like, it's just kind of like off to the side, and it's not getting the attention that it needs to actually look nice.
Sure.
So I decided this week I was going to be like, fuck this. 1 day's backyard, 1 day's front yard, 1 day's side yard. And I worked out really well, except it was 3 days of several hours of yard work. So
also 3 really hot fucking days this week, I'm guessing.
Well,
it was
not
so
the
hot
hottest
this
days.
week. That didn't help.
It really was. It really was. I didn't do it on the hottest day, so I lucked out there, but I should have saved some of it for today. It was fucking cold out today.
Yeah, today was 60 degrees. Yesterday was 90. Stop it!
There shouldn't be a 30-degree difference in a day.
No, there really fucking shouldn't. My knees have no idea what to do. They're like, how bad, we're gonna hurt, obviously. But just how bad are we gonna hurt?
It's a mystery. You get to find out soon. So, I mean, it worked out pretty well. I actually did the side yard second because I thought to myself, maybe I can do the side yard and the front yard. Maybe I'll just start with the side yard and move my way around. But I hadn't done anything in the side yard yet this season. So, like, there was just a whole lot of leaves and stuff I needed to deal with, and I mulched all of them. I didn't rake shit. I mean, I did some raking to get it all into, like, a flat-ish area, and I mowed over all of it, and I breathed in so much horror that I felt like garbage for the rest of the day.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's
just
fine.
A day. It's a day.
It was good. It was not so bad. But the side yard was looking a little bit better. I need to do something. I need to plant something on the side. I got a handful of free mums and free azalea bushes last year, and almost none of them stuck around, which makes me sad because they looked real nice for a minute. And my side yard just doesn't look spectacular. And ever since Karen got her new car, and that's where she parks it on the...
Yeah.
Because for some reason our house has 2 driveways, which is really fucking weird.
It's really interesting, though.
It is. It's just like...
I like it. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like the little one goes right up to the garage, but then there's this whole other, like, separate driveway that's just there. And, you know, I like it. I mean, if it was more yard, it would be more yard work, but then there would also be, like, fewer places to park. So I'm glad it's there. It's just a strange thing.
I have to imagine somebody at some point who owned your home before you did had like an RV or something that they parked over on the side, and because they didn't want to leave it on the street,
right?
You know,
that probably
like
makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you know, back when people could afford to do shit like that,
because you're shore adjacent, like you're not at the shore, but.
Oh,
you're shore
there's
adjacent.
Lots of people have boats here because there's, I mean, we're right at the beach shore, but there's also lots of water around us, like within 10 minutes to go boating. So that's very likely. An
RV or a boat or just something they didn't want to leave on the street, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like, we have this big corner lot. Let's put some concrete down over on this side.
Yeah. I'll buy that for $1.
I don't know.
So
we have to expand our driveway soon. We're getting to a scary point because we got a second car for Tiff because the Mazda that we had was acting shitty. So we have to fix the Mazda though, because it's currently parked in the cul-de-sac across the street. And 1, we just shouldn't leave it there. But 2, my children are going to need a car soon. And that is weird.
They're going to want a car soon.
Well, and I have one. Like, I happen to be in a unique position where I'm like, I just have this car that is paid off and like whatever. But I gotta expand the driveway, and then I suppose I should teach them to drive at some point soon, which is fucking horrifying. Anyway, sorry. So.
Yeah, I'm still plenty of years away from that, so just gonna go ahead and cross my fingers and, you know, hope for the best.
Hope that we have just a fucking unbelievable expansion in infrastructure in the South Jersey area. to where public transportation is just everywhere.
Oh, no, I mean, hopefully Karen's car lasts long enough to pass on to one of the kids, because, I drive a minivan.
Yeah.
When that's been paid off for a little while now, and, I intend to take care of it and make it last as long as I can, but I can't imagine that kid's first car as a minivan is going to go over all that well.
Oh, I don't know, man. I would have loved to have a minivan as my first car. I'd pick everybody up.
That's
give
true.
Everybody rides to school.
I think
coolest shit ever.
Are awesome. If that's what their options are, then
I don't necessarily want a minivan, but I would totally rock like a Dodge conversion van now. Like the fucking 90s Dodge conversion vans.
Oh god, I love those things.
I'd be super into that right now. Yeah, super into it.
This motherfucker has curtains. I love it.
Yeah, why does it have curtains and a table in the back? This is weird. Fucking stupid ass thing. Yeah, into it.
So back to the yard work, because I know this is what people want to hear about. The edge, the trencher is working out well. I am almost ready to change the blade again already, but
oh wow,
I'm using it more regularly, and it's actually working, and I've gotten much better with it. So it's doing its job now, but I had to do some more pretty serious trenching work with it, which is why the blade's starting to run down, because of how much I didn't do it properly before. So,
yeah.
But it's all working out. It's all getting there. The yard's looking pretty decent. I did the thing where I bought a little bit of fencing to fence around the area that Naga had dug up in the backyard with her face.
Yeah.
And the grass is growing in pretty nice there. It's nice. There's this circle of grass now, whereas the rest of my yard is basically green, several different kinds of weeds just growing all over the place.
Yeah.
It's green and it looks great when it's mowed, but it's not all grass, so it looks kind of weird sometimes. But this little circular patch is all grass, so it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But it is it's not a pit of dirt, so that's not nothing.
That is not nothing.
But it was it was just a very exhausting week, and when I finally got around to actually I did the first 3 days, so Thursday was all right, I've got to catch up on the work that I haven't been caught up on this week. I have to really double down and make sure I get this done. And I just had such a hard time focusing on Thursday. I couldn't get shit done. And today just wasn't all that better. I was just kind of exhausted. But, I'm working on it. I got it all done. I got next week's video done. I got next week's blog done. It just really took a lot out of me this week. It was not an easy week.
Yeah, I haven't been able to do much other than read this week. I started a new book because my family has unsurprisingly just disappointed me again. They have not kept up on our book of the month club. And I've read all 4 books for the first 4 months, and Penn read the book the first month, and nobody has read shit since. So I told him whatever Wednesday was the first of the month, right? And I was like, all right, I'm done with you fuckers. I'm done. I tried to do a thing and you guys aren't doing the thing, so fine. You just continue to be my greatest sense of pride, yet also my greatest sense of disappointment on a daily basis, and thank you for that. So I started a new book on my own called The Chowderhead Crusades. And it is basically Ready Player One if it only focused on comic books.
Huh. That's interesting.
And I love Ready Player One. I think it is great.
Like that book too.
I think it's a great story. I don't think Ernest Cline is a very good writer, but I do think he is a good storyteller.
People hated that movie too.
That movie is garbage. It's awful.
I still haven't seen it.
You should not.
Exactly. I don't want to see it because I liked the book, and how'd How did that go wrong? It doesn't seem like it should have gone wrong.
The problem with the movie is that it's just so fast. Like nothing. The great thing about Ready Player One is that by the time you get to figuring out like the first key, right? By the time you're like, you feel, oh shit, it's here, it's on this planet, and it's this fucking D&D thing, and we're playing joust, and it's so fucking cool, all that. It's earned by that point. You know what I mean? You've gone through so much of Parzival's backstory at that point that you really feel that it's deserved. In the movie, it's just like, boom, we got that first fucking key, no problem. And it has nothing to do with joust. Like, it's completely different. It just jumps through the plot points. It sucks. It fucking sucks. It's terrible.
Sounds
Don't
like
watch
Spielberg wasn't the right person to do that. Which is strange to say. But it seems like it seems like it needed to be directed by somebody who really got video games. It's also not a movie. It's a TV show. There's way too much in there for it to be a movie. Like they're just by the very nature of what that type of story was, and the fact that the characters did have to earn it. You know, you look, since you mentioned Spielberg, you look at something like Jurassic Park. The main characters didn't have to earn anything other than being thrown into a world with dinosaurs. Like everything that happens, you're here, you're earning it with them. You know what I mean? Right.
So none of it like feels cheap or whatever. And the stuff that's cut out of the book of Jurassic Park, that like there's one really cool scene in the book where like the T-Rex is fucking like flicking its tongue through a waterfall and the kids are in there. Like it's fucking horrifying. But it didn't need to be in the movie. There's so much of Ready Player One that needs to be in the movie that by virtue of time and or licensing fees, just couldn't be, which is a shame. But I digress. This Chowderhead Crusades is, I don't think the author is as good of a storyteller as Ernest Cline. But it is pretty interesting. Like I started the book on Wednesday. I'm halfway through it already. Like it's a pretty cool read. And it's not as heavy-handed with the references like Ready Player One is. Like Ready Player One is just like hitting you with something constantly. Whereas this takes a little bit more of like that takes a little bit more of a back seat to the actual story being told. But it is virtually the same story. Like as I'm reading through it, I'm like, okay, well, here's this analog and here's that analog and whatever, but it's fine. I'll read through it anyway. But yeah, like I can't focus on anything else but reading a book, which is a very odd place to be. That's the thing that you're not supposed to be able to focus on. You know, like, I just can't read. Well, like that's the thing that I think a lot of people have a hard time. I can't just sit down and read. And like, I can't sit down or do anything else right now but read, which is a weird place. Yeah, I don't know. It's odd.
That is odd.
Yeah. I did get Mike Trout in a pack in the show. That made me really happy.
I saw you posted that somewhere.
Yeah, in the Discord.
In the Discord, that's where it was, yeah. Look at you.
Made me quite happy. Because there's always a couple cards every year that are like the gatekeeper cards. And what's nice is that they do happen to be cards that are like decent cards to use in the game. But they're always just so fucking expensive. And like the Mike Trout card usually sells for upwards of 100,000 stubs, and Shohei Ohtani is like 150,000 stubs, and Mookie Betts is like 100,000 stubs. So like you can finish off the entire Chicago White Sox for like 30 stubs. Like nobody cares, you know what I mean? Like it's whatever. Nobody fucking cares except for like Lewis Robert. But then these other teams is like those are the big barriers as far as finishing the collections and earning the bigger and better cards and whatever. So being able to just get one out of a pack is like, all right, well, like that's one huge stumbling block checked off. Like I don't need to save up or figure out a way to buy this one. So it's like, all right, fucking sweet. Very happy about that.
Good for you.
Yeah. You know,
I speaking of baseball, I did pull the trigger on those tickets.
Oh, nice.
Me and Ellie will be going to see which games? The Phillies versus the someones in June something.
Thought you said the Brewers from Milwaukee.
I think that sounds right, but I don't remember shit. Let's see. I have the tickets. Yes, Phillies versus Brewers on Wednesday, exciting. June 5th. It's Sunglasses Day.
Oh.
So get there on
the
time.
Brewers,
get us some free sunglasses.
The Brewers have quite possibly the second best logo in all of baseball. Like, obviously, the New York Yankees interlocking NY is timeless and perfect. But the Milwaukee Brewers M and B, that also forms a baseball mitt with the ball in the center, is fucking really good. It's a really good logo.
I agree. I like that one a lot.
It's
I do like the simplicity of the Phillies, the Phillies P, but only the like more rounded one, right? Because
the old like school, the fat P. Yeah,
yeah, the big fat like '80s one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, with the baby blue and the weird like maroon uniforms.
And isn't there like a baseball in the middle of the P too? I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah.
I like
that one's good.
Big fan of that one.
That one's good.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think the Yankees with the NY, and it just looks so much better than the Mets one. The Mets one is just like, what are you doing?
Everything about the Mets is terrible.
I have no problem with the Mets. I really don't. I just like baseball, but like I have several friends who are Mets fans that you got to admire their
chutzpah,
their tenacity, their willingness to go through punishment.
What I've always found interesting about New York sports, right, is that a couple things. Like, one, we can be Yankees fans or we can be Mets fans, but we all love the Knicks. Like, we can hate each other when our baseball teams, but like we all love the Knicks. But then we hate each other again for hockey. Because like you're an Islanders fan or you're a Rangers fan or God forbid a Devils fan.
What's the delineation there? That's what I never understood. Because like I lived in New York for a couple of years and I could never really figure out like how do you determine whether you're a Yankees fan or a Mets fan? Like besides just picking the team you like better. Like I always thought it was like you pick the team that's regional to you. And
sure,
South Jersey is Philly sports because we're close to Philly and.
Because that's what we get on TV, and that's what we, grow up watching and whatever. Which is why I was an A's fan when I was a kid, obviously. Now, I feel like the Mets is like Queens and Long Island. Like, that's the Mets. And everything else in New York is the Yankees. The hockey, everything but Long Island is the Rangers. Because you have the Islanders.
Right.
Play on Long Island. So, like, you have that team there. And then those of us who, like, in North Jersey, you can be a Mets or a Yankees fan. That or like, anywhere. Like, but that more depends on your family history and whether you went along with your family or rebelled against your family to pick the other one. But then like that's also where you can be like I'm with you on the Knicks and the fucking Yankees, love them on the Giants too, but I'm a Devils fan, you're a Rangers fan, eat a dick. Like it's just really weird how that kind of thing happens. I don't know. It does make me very, very happy to see the New York Knicks beat the 76ers this week, though. That did bring me no small amount of joy. Joel Embiid. I don't know how much basketball you watch, Chris. I don't think you watch
zero.
a lot.
I have zero interest in basketball. That sport does nothing for me.
I love basketball. Joel Embiid is the superstar for the 76ers, and he is just an unlikable bastard. He fucking sucks. But he doesn't suck in the way where, like, back in the day, it was fun to hate the Red Sox as a Yankees fan. Oh, fuck Kevin Youkilis. I hate that guy. Jason Varitek, what a prick. Hate him. Like, Joel Embiid, you're just, go away. Like, he has, in wrestling parlance, he has what is called X-Pac heat. And that is where people are booing you, the person, not you, the character. Huh. Like, we actually just don't want to see you. You, like, it's not your character that we're tired of. We're not booing you because you're a heel and you did heelish things. We just don't like you. And that was X-Pac for a little bit. So it's called, like, X-Pac heat. But, yeah, Joel Embiid, terrible person. Anyway.
Well, the other fun thing I have coming up, at least it's fun for me personally, is that tomorrow is Star Wars Day, May 4th, and I am dragging the whole family to go see Star Wars Episode 1 in the theater. Ellie's excited, and Karen's like, kind of, she's like, well, I guess I want to come too.
Yeah.
And we're just making John go.
But he's just at that age where he doesn't want to fucking do anything.
He just wants to play Pokemon. Like, he just wants to play Pokemon. We got a message from his teacher today that he was behind on his schoolwork because during the whole, like, section where he was supposed to be doing a bunch of schoolwork for an hour, he was just Googling pictures of Pokemon and blew up his entire assignment.
Yeah, I've been there with Katie before. It's like, look, she's really good at drawing, but she can't draw all day. Not yet, anyway. Maybe at some point in her life, but she has to get through the 5th grade.
She begs to differ.
Yeah, I get that. I cannot imagine, as much as I like Star Wars, I cannot imagine going to see that movie in the theater again.
I see, that's the thing. I find that movie to be very tolerable in a lot of ways, but to go see the pod race again on a movie theater screen, to go see the Duel of Fates again on the big screen, like, that was it. If it was, episodes 2 or 3, I wouldn't even consider it. But, like,
I would go for episode 3. I would go for 3.
I would absolutely not go for 3. Oh my god, speaking of Revenge of the Sith, the fucking Pokemon movie that John picked tonight, one of the 2 Pokemon made, like, they yoinked the sound effect of that weird lizard thing that Obi-Wan rides in that movie.
Oh, really?
So, like, it kept making that sound over and over again, and the whole time it's driving me nuts, because I'm like, that's from that stupid fucking lizard in Star Wars.
Yeah, there is a lot of Star Wars Episode 3 that is not good. Most of it is not good. But Obi-Wan popping up and being like, hello there. That, I know it's a meme. I don't care. It's fucking great.
I don't care either. It's great. Yeah.
It's great. The fucking
good
fight
stuff in Revenge.
The fight on Mustafar. Oh my god. That alone.
See, I'd take
that's worth the price of admission.
I'd take like 60% of that fight. There's some parts of that fight that are just like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Did you stop? Why are you two standing in front of each other just fucking twirling your lightsabers?
Oh, stop it. Because it looks fucking cool. It makes cool noise.
Look dumb as shit. Come on.
No, I don't care.
Yeah,
don't try it, Anakin. I have the high ground.
So
I hate you!
You dumb man. Ugh. Audible groaning.
It also has perhaps the best line delivered in any Star Wars movie when fucking Palpatine, his overdramatic ass. No, that one's pretty good.
That's my favorite.
The whatever the fuck he says, this has left me scarred. What? Why'd you say it like that? Nobody would say it like that. What a weird choice you made.
And like also the complete non sequitur of power.
Unlimited power. Yeah. Movie's fucking great. It's best. Out of all 9, it's the best one.
Oh, God, it's so fucking not.
No, I know. It definitely isn't. It definitely is not at all. But unlimited. Stop it. Why are you...
Settle down. Jesus. Oh, man.
You're going down a path I can't follow.
The kids kind of asked
I fucking
about
love that movie. Yeah.
The kids kind of asked about the other two. So they were mentioning having seen all the Star Wars movies, and I was like, well, there's 2 you haven't seen yet. You've seen this one that we're going to go see in theaters, and then last year we did 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, but you haven't seen 2 and 3. And they're like, why not? It's like, well, they're not very good, and they make everything worse.
They're so awesome, you just can't handle it.
But they're at the point now where if they really wanted to see them, I would watch them with them. Like, Karen wouldn't. She'd just be like, I'm not watching this shit. I'm not sitting through this garbage again. But, I'd watch them with them. But the problem is, if you see them at any point, they make everything around them worse, which is why I hate them as much as I do.
They do.
They make episode 1 worse.
I disagree slightly
half of them worse.
with 3. Episode 2 is one of the worst movies I have ever seen.
Yeah,
not Star Wars movies. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And that is taking into account how awesome the shit with fucking Yoda and Dooku is. It's stupid, and it doesn't make any sense, but boy, do I fucking love it.
That's
watching Yoda do that the first time.
It's such a cool thing.
Oh my God.
But in retrospect, it makes everything around it worse. It's
so much worse.
So much more effective when you didn't show us how powerful he was. You just talk about how powerful. Use your imagination. It was so much more effective before that. And episode 3 suffers from the problem of being
movie.
We have no idea how to get him. We don't know how we're going to get him to emotionally be the Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. We're going to spend the whole movie doing it, completely fumble the ball, and then be like, fuck it, now he's Darth Vader. Oh shit, we're already 2.5 hours into this. We got to wrap up a lot of threads. She gave birth. She named them Luke and Leia just for reasons. She's dying because she's sad, I guess. I don't know, because we said she was dead.
You're breaking my heart.
The droids are here now, and they erase the memories, and Yoda's going to teach them about Force Ghosts, and it all happens in the last 5 minutes. They do all of this catch-up of shit, these are all the ties we forgot to tie up, and I guess we're just going to do it at the end.
Yeah.
You had 3 movies to do this.
We'll cram it in there.
3 movies to do this.
That's because, and I think I've said it before on this show. I don't know if I've said it before, but if I haven't, I'll come out and say it now. Fucking George Lucas is a hack. He's a hackadoodle-doo. It's okay. He made a really cool thing.
With somebody else's hands on the wheel, he can be great.
He had a really cool idea of what about, samurai pirates in space with laser swords. And then after that first one, when other people got involved, it was that is actually a fucking dope idea. Then you go back and you watch that fucking prequel trilogy, and you just really realize that he has zero idea what is happening at any point in time in this universe.
I got a different impression. I got an impression of, I know what I want to say, I just have no idea how to say it well. And which was kind of acceptable for episode 1 because of how light and fluffy it's supposed to be. The point is the Phantom Menace. There's some dread going on in the background. Then 2 and 3 is where we get to the meat of the subject, which I was fine with the way he did episode 1, although somebody should have reined him in on Jar Jar. The concept of Jar Jar
the
isn't
fucking
bad.
Overtly racist fucking everything that's in that movie. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that you watch and you're like,
don't
wow.
work on me, only money.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Just, oh, man. Fuck are you doing, George? What are you doing, man?
Trade Federation.
Don't do that.
Thick Asian accents. Right?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
No, thicker. Make them thicker. Okay. All right, George, we got this.
Oh, boy.
We're going to make the Gungans are going to be the Jamaican? Is that what you're going for? Yeah, Jamaican, but like really stupid. Like, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, boy.
Dumber. Lower. Dumber. Is the people going to die? There you go. Nailed it. Do that for the whole movie. Okay, but what about the rest of them? Is it just this idiot? No, it's the whole species. We're going to have this general guy, and he's going to be like, you say him big doo-doo this time.
Stop it.
Stop it. But like, when you think about it, those were the thing. If you had just reined those in a little bit, then they're fine. The concept of the physical design of the Gungans, their weapons, all interesting. The underwater place that they live, Gungan City, is super cool looking. The giant fish creatures that are eating each other, their like vehicles, the pongo that they drive around in, like, it's all cool stuff. If they didn't talk like idiots, it would be fine. But everybody talks like an idiot. Like, he just needs. It was like we were talking about with Taika Waititi. We just need somebody to rein him in. Like, that's all you need.
It needs somebody to come in and slap him on the hand every now and again. Bad.
Yeah, just be like,
don't do that.
Stop that. That's too far.
Stop that.
You just rein that shit in, and you're good to go. But like, yeah,
I will say
you could tell he had some kind of story he was trying to tell in the prequel trilogy. It's just that he had fumbled so spectacularly in telling that story and getting lost in this, like, oh God, his love of CG at the time was just like, all right. So,
I love CG too. Don't get me wrong. Big CG guy.
Sure.
Great.
CG is very cool, but like when you look at episode 2 now, it's hard to look at. It was hard to look at then because like nothing's here. There's no tangibility to any of this.
There's no here.
I was just watching something somebody pointed out on, I think on Twitter. It was like, okay, so the assassination plot in the beginning is Palpatine wants Padme dead, but he doesn't want to do it, so he tells Dooku to do it. But Dooku doesn't want to do it, so he hires Jango Fett to do it. But Jango Fett doesn't want to do it, so he hands it off to Sam Wessel, the shapeshifter. But she doesn't want to do it, so she tells a robot to do it. But the robot doesn't want to do it either, so the robot sends bugs. So it's like, that's 5 layers deep.
That's not a good story.
That's
just
crazy.
Not a good story.
All day.
I feel bad for Ahmad Best. He should not have gotten the hate that he received for playing the character that George Lucas very obviously wanted him to play.
Yeah,
that is not necessarily Ahmad Best's fault. He did the best job possible with what he was given. However, this movement that is happening somewhat online, and it's not a huge movement, but there is a movement to kind of go back and be like, no, those first 3 movies are actually brilliant, and Jar Jar is a great character. I cannot abide by that.
Yeah,
I just
the
can't.
revisionist history going on right now is pretty brutal.
It's really like, we can objectively, because that's part of like loving the thing too, is being able to love it with its faults.
Yeah.
But still acknowledge the fact that those first 3 movies are gigantic piles of shit.
Yeah,
they are gigantic piles. If episode 1 was just a sci-fi movie, was not a Star Wars movie, was just a movie that came out, The Phantom Menace. We're going to go see The Phantom Menace. This looks cool. And then you saw that movie, you would have left furious. It's garbage.
I don't think so.
It's garbage.
It ends on too strong a note. That's the thing. Like, yes, even if it is garbage, there are so many things about it that I enjoy. Like, I love Liam Neeson. I love
Liam Neeson's.
I love Liam Neeson's. I love the design of Darth Maul. I love the entire end battle sequence. The whole end of the movie is just so much fun to watch. The pod race is so gratuitous and long, but it didn't matter because it's fucking enthralling. Like, yes, there is a whole lot of fucking nonsense in between, but
if it was not Star Wars, it would have been a fucking disaster.
I'm sure it would have still had a cult following because of those cool things in it, but it wouldn't have gained the traction that it did in the first place from just not being a part of the franchise. But again, I love this stuff. I adore Star Wars, and like I'm not gonna hate on anyone for being able to enjoy episodes 2 and 3. I wish I could. I really do. I really wish I could enjoy those movies the way that other people do. I wish I enjoyed the Bad Batch as much as some people do. Like I follow
I haven't watched it at all,
and you don't need to. It ended this week, and the series finale happened, and they all lived happily ever after. Which, granted, was a surprise because I'm looking at this like, okay, I've never seen any of these characters again. So clearly some of them have got to die, and they're like, no, they found this place that wasn't part of anything, and they just fucking retired. It's like, oh,
we're just gonna ride off into the fucking sunset.
Like the whole time I'm watching it, like they had this one character, Crosshair, that was like he was part of the group, and then he defected to be a bad guy, and then he went back to being a good guy, and they kept setting him up for like, well, what's the next thing? He has to sacrifice himself for the greater good. That's the way the story goes. Except every time it came up, they were like, don't you do that. You're staying with us. It's like, okay, fine. Okay. He'd be like, I'm going to go and do this alone. And they're like, fuck off. You're coming with us. And then he was fine in the end. It's like, all right.
That's weird.
Like, that was weird, but it was fun. But all in all, I didn't really enjoy the show. It was astonishingly mediocre. It kept hinting it was going to be like doing a whole lot of work to the whole explaining the Palpatine coming back in Rise of Skywalker, and it like kind of didn't.
No, we got the explanation. Somehow Palpatine has returned. That's the explanation. Stop trying to go any fucking deeper.
Well, we know it was cloning. But like the thing is, like they're working on some of that stuff in Mandalorian. But like going back to this one, there's this whole thing called Project Necromancer, and it was like,
I wonder what that could be about. The
whole thing was like they needed this character because this specific character, that was what the Emperor was trying to get their hands on. This character they were doing the tests if they could make a clone body that was able to retain a midichlorian count. And like, this is the thing. These threads during this show were interesting. It's just like they never focused enough on the interesting stuff. So like they kept trying to get this girl because she was able to be cloned, and the clone would keep the midichlorian count, which is clearly what Project Necromancer is about, right?
Sure.
Palpatine needs to be able to transfer his consciousness into a new body, and keep his abilities with the Force. So the whole point was trying to keep this girl away from the Empire and destroy their research. And in the end of the show, she grew up and apparently joined the rebellion. So I feel like maybe we haven't seen the last of some of these characters. I don't know. I love Star Wars. I'm excited to go see this movie. Too. I'm so excited.
I'm happy
you are,
man. I really am.
Man, when those doors open and Darth Maul's there, and the Duel of Fate starts, like, dun, dun, and then Liam Neeson's like, we'll handle this. And everyone's like, everybody else is like, you're right, you will. We're going to go.
You guys do got this. Well
that
done,
guy
boys.
Is scary as shit. Oh, I'm so excited. That's going to be so much fun. Ellie's going to have a blast. I think John's going to like it too. He hasn't seen this one in a long time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That's the good times I have coming up, and the week that's behind me. Hopefully next week I'll be able to focus a little bit better. I'm actually going in a couple of weeks to visit Mike. We're going to have to record on a different night that week because I'm going up on Friday night.
Unacceptable. Yeah. Mike will be a guest on that episode because you will be there and record with him.
Suck it up, sir. I need to relax. Desperately. I need to unplug for a few days. But I've been.
I saw
playing...
an interesting thing. I don't know if I brought it up on here or not, but there, in some of the psychological circles that I frequent, because I'm like smart and stuff. There's this ongoing discussion about the world that we currently live in and how everything is just on fire all the always. And we no longer, many of us anyway, no longer relax and recharge when we leave our jobs or when we turn off our working brains. We simply disassociate for a little bit. And we're never actually like filling the cup back up. We're just continuously running off of the fumes. And I read that and I was like, fucking yeah. Like, that's sad, but yeah, man, like, fuck, that hits hard. Because, you know, like, there's the whole thing going on where Bernie Sanders and others have proposed a 4-day work week with no reduction in pay and all of these different things that are going on. And the rest of the greedy fucks in the world are like, no, but our profits, you can't, we need more of the monies. We got to take it all with us. You fucking pores. Don't look at us. And we find ourselves in a world that is full of wonderful technological advancements and all of this great shit. And we don't actually enjoy it the way that we should because we're using it to forget about the students that are having the shit beat out of them on fucking college campuses because they're like, hey, maybe don't just indiscriminately kill people. Like, it's just a really interesting thing. So when you say I need to unplug, and like, I get it, man. I get it, because even though we have these weekends and this time off, we're just ignoring the fucking monster that is outside of the door for a few hours.
At best. Yeah. A lot of the time the weekend is catching up on the shit we didn't have time to do during the week. Yeah.
It's interesting. Anyway. Sorry. It's kind of a bummer, but, but
it is, but it is the reality of our situation, and it's one of the reasons I love video games so much. Because they are my escape. They bring me a lot of joy, and I didn't play enough this week. I really didn't. It's because I was just so focused on getting the artwork done, which was really nice. I was listening to music. I was exhausted when I was done, but I really do enjoy doing, being outside and getting all that sun, and it was really nice. It just, I wish I was in better shape or did a better job of taking care of myself so that it wasn't quite so draining to do it. But here we are. The yard looks nice, and it's getting better all the time. And here we are in the freaking weekend where we will do some choring, clean the floors. Think about spring cleaning this and
clean the floors, clean the children.
Yep. Oh my God, John's head is so fucking funky. That boy really needs to get better at washing his hair.
Just fucking buzz his head.
He won't.
Problem solved.
He wants the long hair. He's just... I don't know what to do with this boy's head because he's so miserable with the hair in his face, but he refuses to get it cut short, and I think it's a confidence thing. Like,
yeah, I get that.
He likes being able to hide. He wants to be invisible. He doesn't want anyone looking at him, and he but he's so miserable trying to like move hair out of his eyes all the time because he can't see. It's like, poor guy. Get your shit.
Is it long enough to be tied back yet?
Almost. That's the thing. It's going to get there. It's not going to be that much longer. The next couple of months, they'll probably have it long enough to be tied back. It's like the front stuff is almost long enough to be easily brushed behind his ears. Like it's getting there.
It sounds like you're describing.
Without a doubt.
It sounds like you're describing a mullet. However, the front,
no,
it's almost long enough, but the party is really in the back.
No,
that's what I and everyone else just heard. Just so you're
very
aware.
Not a mullet. It's all almost the same length all round.
Okay,
it's just that the front has to go so much further. It's very not a mullet. It's more of a mop top. Just a really, really stinky one because he doesn't do a good job of washing his hair.
Yeah, that is.
He'll spend like an hour in the shower, but he doesn't scrub his scalp. So like, there's just all this crud and shit in his hair. And it's like I got to get in there and actually scrub his head.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Kids.
Yeah, I know.
Really, the only gaming I did this week was I finished Dadish 3D.
Oh, nice.
Which again, it was good. It was a blast. Yeah, I vastly prefer the 2D games. But it is interesting that Thomas Young has been on Twitter a lot more, like being more active and engaging with people talking about the game, because everyone's been so positive. Like, this is such a cool thing, but I have these problems with it. And he's like, I'm working on patches and taking all of your feedback. This is really interesting. Clearly, he's obviously never really done a 3D game before, so he's learning.
Yeah.
I mentioned to him today because he made a post today specifically about how you can always tell where Dadish is by looking at his shadow. And I was like, that's great, except that only works for Dadish. None of the enemies or items or geometry in the game also work that way. So, like, I can tell where Dadish is, but I can't tell where the star I'm trying to get is, because the shadow for the star is based on the lighting, not based on the shadow that's underneath it. And he liked my comment, so hopefully, I don't know, maybe that'll be a part of whatever update he's working on. I also tried some of... no, I'll get to that in the news, because it's directly tied to a news story. I might be getting the review for Endless Ocean. I don't know.
I don't know. That game looks boring as fuck.
Yeah, I have the first two, and like it's up for review, but it's like it's up, right? We have the review code for it. It's available. Lucas was going to do it, but he's got some stuff going on, and so I offered today. I was like, hey, he said if anyone feels really strongly about it, I'll give it up. Otherwise, I'm going to start it. And then he mentioned today that he might be out of communication because he's got some personal stuff going on. And I said, if it'll help, I would take the Endless Ocean review off your hands. I have the first two. I can give it a go. I can give it the time, because the thing is, like, it's getting torn up in the reviews, and Lucas thinks that it's probably a situation where none of the reviewers have been able to experience the game the way it was meant to be experienced, because they were all reviewing it pre-release. And what's supposed to make this game interesting is jumping in online and playing with a whole group of people at the same time.
Oh, but is there going to be a whole group of people playing at the same time?
Yeah, that's the question. Who the hell knows?
At the beginning.
Yeah, probably at the beginning. And that's the thing. If it can gain some sort of traction, then maybe it could be. Or maybe it is actually garbage. Like, maybe it really isn't a very good game. That's an entire possibility. But it's one of the advantages of not rushing to get reviews in, like, straight away. One of the advantages of being in the print medium, where it's like, well, we can't have super timely reviews all the time. So, there was another one that I requested a review code for. I haven't heard back yet. But Flint's Arcade just today started promoting this game, Goliath Depot. Have you seen anything about this?
No.
Oh, it looks great. Let me send you a link to it. It's out on Steam.
I got fucking fingers. Type some shit.
Yeah, like it's been out on Steam for a little while now. Okay, I understand. But the it's coming out on, it's finally getting ported to Switch. It's another one of these, like, Donut Dodo style, old school arcade games. It looks like super fun. You're a little dude slamming doors.
This looks cool.
Yeah. So I requested a review code from them. They seem to give me review codes whenever I ask for them. So hopefully I get this one too, because I'd like to review that one for SAG. That would be fun.
Yeah, this looks pretty neat. Cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing as far as video games are concerned. It was Dadish. It was, Vampire Survivors, which we'll talk about in a bit. And yeah, I think that was it. I played some Clubhouse games, off-brand Yahtzee with Karen last night, but
nice.
That's about it. I love the Clubhouse games. Yahtzee is so just barely not Yahtzee. Like, it's just barely legally distinct. They call it Yacht Dice, and it's like some of the scoring is different, and it makes it a little bit more interesting in some ways. Like what is it? There is no 3 of a kind. It's only 4 of a kind. But that one is the total of the dice added up instead of a set score. You know what I mean? Like, there's a couple of pieces like that work just a little bit differently. And there's no cleanup because it's a video game. But it's only 2 players. I'm like, why the fuck is that only 2 players?
I don't know. I find it very concerning that you are basically playing a game that, for better or worse, should be called Nazi. And that really upsets me.
No, this is called Chris, Yacht Dice.
No, you're playing Nazi is what you're playing. It's not.
Why would it be? Why should it be called Nazi?
Because it's not Yahtzee?
I get it.
It's Nazi?
I get it. Sorry, I didn't understand it before, but I'm there. I'm back here with you. I was somewhere else. I was over there. I wasn't with you, but now I am. Now I'm here. Now I'm with you. We're in the same place.
You're like Andrew Dice Clay? Aha! I'm over here now. Oh! There you go. That's what's going to fucking bring us over the line, Chris. Let's start doing some dice material. That'll be good stuff.
Well, anyway. You've been playing anything?
No, I really haven't had... I haven't had a ton of time to play this week. 1, being unfocused has really not helped. But 2, my kid has just been going through it a little bit. It was just some friend group drama and these sorts of things, and she likes to bury herself in video games when that happens. And she is currently back on the Inscription obsession, and whatchamacallit, I think she's beaten Inscription 3 times this week. Like, I get up in the morning and go downstairs to get breakfast or whatever, and she's already downstairs playing it. And I get home from work, and she's down there playing it. So I have not been able to use my PlayStation because it's very, very obvious that she is like, oh, like you need to be doing this right now. Like, this is a mental health break for you. Cool. Do it. So I really haven't had a ton of time because I don't usually go in and I'm like, get the fuck off. I want to play the baseball. I don't care that you're going through some shit right now. Don't fucking talk to me about it. Just go away,
Go through some shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, in that case, then we should just take ourselves a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to tackle some week-old news, because that's what we do around these parts. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around. And now here's a quick look at what's new in the gratuitous rainbow spectrum at stoneagegamer.com.
First up, Donut Dodo is a game that Kris loved very much. So much so, he bought it on both the Atari VCS and Nintendo Switch. So when Pixel, the studio behind it, announced a new game in a similar style, Kris was undoubtedly excited. Now, Cash Cow DX, another arcade-inspired goofy-ass romp, has been released on the Atari VCS. But is it any good? Does it live up to Donut Dodo's absurdly distinguished pedigree.
There it is.
What, were you sad that I was reading it like just vanilla?
Yeah,
he didn't say fuck yet. What's wrong with you?
We're out of practice in the whole commercials reading thing, but you know, it's very weird hearing my words verbatim coming out of your mouth. That's all I'm going to say. It's kind of unsettling. I don't know how I feel about it.
Find out in a new fucking Stone Age Gamer review. Is that better? Cash fucking Cow TX. That's what it's
Nailed
called.
Nailed it. 10 out of 10.
No,
Next.
we're trying to be professional,
yes.
Chris. We're trying to grow the podcast. We got to be profesh.
Next up, in the latest chapter in our ongoing series, The Nintendo Report, I tackled the letter E. With a new endless ocean upon us, Nintendo must be treating their other properties that begin with the letter E, right? Right?
Yes.
But what really is the latest word on Earthbound? Will there ever be another game in the Ever Oasis universe? Can the Excitebike franchise survive following the bomb that was the admittedly super fun Excitebots Trick Racing? Was there ever a follow-up to Eternal Darkness for GameCube? Find out all about this and more. In the Nintendo Report, Eternity's Excitebikes and Electroplankton.
I really want a new fucking Eternal Darkness. The game was so cool and clever and interesting. And finally, Chris, sports.
Finally. Yeah.
Sports ball. Nobody knows sports ball like Chris. When I'm sitting around thinking, man, I bet if I needed to know the statistics for Mark McGuire's rookie season, if I had to call one person, it would be Chris.
That's easy. 17%. 18
Nailed
over
it.
5.
I mean, that's right. Do you know Mark McGuire is a baseball player? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, he was the guy with the arms, right?
No, well, yeah. I mean, he was on steroids a lot, like all the steroids. Yeah. Him and Jose Canseco, they were the Bash brothers.
That's exactly what I meant. That's exactly what I meant.
You're like a regular sports savant, Chris. It's disgusting.
Couldn't call it worse.
It's disgusting. It really. I Gewalt. That's why he decided to write an incredibly ill-advised blog about how he thinks sports games could ensure the success of the Switch 2. It's frankly just complete nonsense, and Chris knows it. That's why he didn't even bother promoting it on social media. But if you, yes you, the listener, want to check out the ravings of a certified fuck madman, you should read Can Sports Guarantee Switch 2's Success? Then point and laugh as you wonder if it's perhaps the dumbest thing you've read this week.
Yeah, I wrote that.
Sports go sports.
More. I was very proud
team,
of that blog.
Yeah. I fucking didn't bury the lead in the title at all.
See, there were other things that I wrote.
Is it like a one-word article?
I could have.
Yes.
I could have written a commercial about it, but I thought, you know what? I'm kind of ashamed of this one, so I'm going to promote it on the podcast.
Nah, man, you know so much about sports. You know, just the other day, you called me up to talk about fucking Isaiah Hartenstein and how well he's been playing for the Knicks.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, it does. You told me just today. You told me how much you loved the nickname for the Knicks player. I've been watching a lot of Knicks, so that's where I'm at right now. Achua. His last name, Chris, we all know, Achua. We love that guy. He came off, fucking knocked Embiid around a bunch the other day. But he's got perhaps the best nickname in all of sports right now. His last name is Achua. Can you guess what his nickname is, Chris? You don't have to guess, because you told me today it's the Big Sneeze. That's fucking great. Tell me. Tell me you don't fucking love that. The Big Sneeze. Oh my god. It's fucking magic. I was so happy when The sport. See, this is how much you know about sports. I set it up, seeing if you would pick it up, and you were like, "Oh, I fucking know magic. I'm all about that shit." Oh, you're so good, Kris. Savant. Disgusting amount of knowledge.
For all of this and more, be sure to check out the gratuitous Rainbow Spectrum under the blog section every Wednesday at stoneagegamer.com.
Forgot you didn't do that part yet. Sorry. Fuck, I love Frank Turner. Anyway.
And he loves you. And with that, we are back. Welcome back. We had a good break. It was a good time. Dan went and got some vape juice, I think.
Yes.
I sat here
juice.
And didn't. Kind of thirsty.
Because that's not a thing you do.
Yeah, that's true. I probably could have gotten some more water. But, there's another break coming up. And in the meantime, it's that time, Dan. It's that special time of every episode for a little segment I like to call What's New at Stone Age Gamer? We have now entered week 4. What? We've now entered week 4, Dan. Week 4 of waiting on Power Base Minis. No, we have gotten the shipments that they were promised to be in, and they were not in the shipments. So
Ryan has sent me nothing. Again, they are all here. They're all here. I'm looking at them right now, over in the corner. Gobs of them. In fact,
I'm going to send a message to our distributor. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not going to name names here, but the person responsible for sending them said said on Monday, working on X stations today, Power Base Minis will be included. So I guess we haven't gotten the X stations in yet. So right, did we get the X stations back in stock? Maybe it's then, possible. I'm gonna hold off. Right? What came in today? We got we did get we got Retro Gem Basics and Shinies back in stock, and we also got the Morphs in, like I mentioned last week. So those are here.
Yeah.
We got a Brook shipment in stock, which is cool. So we got their Neo Geo adapter, Wingman SDs, and a new color for the Wingman PS2. I didn't know they're getting a new color of that. That's interesting. The rest of our G-Comp showed up, so we can start working on the pre-orders we had for those. And the Neo SD MVSs showed up, and they showed up in good shape, apparently, which is nice. The DHL did not destroy those. Hooray. Those are going to take more time to get together and ship, but so some big products coming and moving around, but the Power Base Minis remain out of our hands. We did also get a huge restock of Evercade cartridges, which have been selling really well lately, which is kind of neat. That's really awesome. We don't order a ton of them. Like we like them. We're fans. So like Andy tends to. I wind up putting together a lot of our carts through our one of our distributors. We deal with several distributors, but the one that we get our Evercade carts from, we tend to order like 5 at a time. And like, not only did we get, we got, let me see if I can actually grab which ones we got this week for the first time. Let's see, we got the Gremlin Collection. I don't know which one that is. I'm unfamiliar with that one. We got the Delphine Collection 1, Interplay Collection 2, Team 17 Amiga Collection 1, Always Awakening Cathedral Collection, Galco Arcade 2, Sunsoft Collection 2, Pico Interactive Collection 4, Morphcat Games Collection 1, the C64 Collection 3, and Indie Heroes Collection 3. We actually sold out of the Always Awakening Cathedral one already, which is pretty crazy.
That's pretty awesome.
Just came in this week. Yeah. We also sold out of a bunch of other ones that we had. So like I've currently got like 6 more Evercade things in our cart already for our next order. One is we got.
That's awesome.
We're looking to get restocked on, as long as they stay in stock by the time I actually place the order. More of the Always Awakening Cathedral, Home Computer Heroes, Full Void, another one I don't know anything about that one. Gale Code Arcade 1, Duke Nukem Volume 2, Atari Evercade Arcade 1, Mega Cat Studios 1. So yeah, a bunch of Evercade movement going on, which is fun.
That's really great.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm
when
just so
like
interested. Yeah, I'm so interested in this fucking system.
Would you want the handheld one, the EXP, or would you want a Versus system, like one plugged into the TV?
But I don't know. What would I want?
Would you play it handheld, or would you play it on your TV? Or would you want a little bit of both? One on each hand?
Yes. I think is it. I don't really know. I feel like it I don't know.
If I had spare money, like this is definitely something I would like to have and collect for. I just think I think it's really neat. But seeing it would be an expensive hobby to keep up with for something that I wouldn't probably actually use all that much, considering what I already have. Okay, yeah. I think the Evercade's super cool.
I think I would probably play it on the TV just because I just enjoy that more, you know? I don't know, there's just...
less into handhelds these days.
There's just... Because, like, fucking hooking up a computer... Because the other way to do it, right, is to fucking shmemulate these games on a computer, right? And you could play that on your computer screen, or you could play it on your television. You could hook that up. But that, I don't know, that's just not as... I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking at the fucking Jalico collection. It's got 64th Street, a detective story. It's one of my favorite beat 'em ups of all time. And also on that cart is Saint Dragon and the first EDF and Avenging Spirit. Like, that's fucking awesome. What a good cart. And I think I would rather play that on the TV.
Here. The Sunsoft collections are super cool to me.
Yeah. The IREM stuff is really cool.
Yeah, there's a ton of really good stuff on the Evercade. And it plays it all plays well. It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, the only other big thing that happened this week.
Anyway,
we got a big number of pre-owned flashcards finally put in inventory, because we get a decent amount of flashcard trade-ins, but making the listings and actually getting them up on the site takes longer than we'd like. But somebody at the store put like 30 of them up this week. A bunch of them already sold, but yeah, lots of pre-owned flashcards in the inventory currently. Check out the site for that, and that's what's been going on at Stone Age Gamer this week. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but nah, I think it was all just waiting on the G comps and the MVSs. I think that's been our week. There you go. Boom.
Right on.
That's what's new at Stone Age Gamer.
Buy our stuff.
Yeah.
Buy their stuff.
Buy my book. With
Buy
that,
my book.
That means it's time. It's time, Dan. Brace yourself. Prepare for a heaping helping.
I was sitting down. Let me stand up so I could sit out again.
There you go. Ready? Ready?
All right. Yes.
It's time for Week Old News. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. First up, this was actually a story that was sent to us by a listener who just happens to be the proprietor behind a Kickstarter that I thought looked pretty neat. I wanted to know if we could mention it on the show, and here we are mentioning it on the show. This is it's already fully funded, so we're not out here shilling.
Even better.
So this is already fully funded. Whether you want to pitch into it or not, that's entirely on you. But it is a thing that's going to happen. It is called Lady Death Demonicron, I think is how you say it. Somebody's making a video game out of... they got the Lady Death license. And they're making a beat 'em up.
Yeah, that... okay. That's fucking awesome.
It almost makes you wonder, I'm looking at this and thinking, how did this not happen sooner? How did somebody not make a beat 'em up out of Lady Death already?
Yeah. I am so super fucking into this.
Yeah.
I
hope this. I hope it happens. I obviously with Kickstarter, it's always one of those crapshoots.
Yeah,
you could be chicken wiggle, but I got a pretty good feeling off of this one. They got a heck of a team of people who have worked on a number of projects. The team looks pretty darn good, and it seems to be a real passion project here. And
it's such a cool license to use. Like, fucking Lady Death is so cool. Lady Death was one of those things where, like, when we were younger, it was like, oh, there are other types of comics that are not just superheroes. What the fuck is this section of the store? You know, and it's like, oh, what is this shit? And it's such a badass property, and yeah, super into this. Super duper into it.
You've seen the Kickstarter, right? Like, you've seen the Kickstarter
yes.
page? Have you seen... what I love about this is all the different covers. And, like, on one hand, you could look at this and say, like, oh, there's all these different covers. You can never collect them all. It's like, this is exactly what Lady Death comics do. Lady Death comics always have, like, 16 different covers. So the fact that, like, there's all these different covers from different... looks like they're from different artists. Yeah. There's a Frank Cho one. There's a Tyler Kirkham one. Like... This is awesome. I really want this to work out for these guys. I hope this comes out the way that they want it to, because it really does strike me as a passion project. So that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. Like, yeah, Lady Death is a fucking passion project. You know, I think it's fucking super cool. But like, in full disclosure, like, Lady Death was never top of the charts. You know what I mean? Like, that's totally okay. That doesn't matter. Yeah, there's a fucking Randy Green cover. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, Randy Green. So, okay.
Randy this game is... I didn't realize that this game is canon. Written by Mike McLean, Brian Pulido, and Ash Nichols, the story within the game is official Lady Death canon. How cool is that?
That is absurd.
Sorry, go on.
I fucking love... I love everything about that. God, so Randy Green worked on this book. And I'm trying to fucking remember the name of it, and it's terrible that I can't pull it off the top of my head. What the fuck was it called? So I think I know what it was called, but I just want to make sure that I get it right, because he did a lot of work for Top Cow back in the day. Yes, so he worked on The Darkness. He did some work for fucking Dark Child. He was such a fucking, like, cool artist, because he would do the fucking, like, the cheesecake kind of shit, but in a way that wasn't, like, it still worked as so much more than that. Like, I was always so super fucking impressed with his artwork. And to see it here, like, fuck, there's a Randy Green cover for fucking Lady Death. That's so fucking awesome. Love that. Love it.
I love that this...
Fully supported.
This tier is called Shelf Queen. The perfect option... It says the perfect option if you love digital but still want something to put on your shelf. Get a physical Demonicron box, choice of platform, with a digital download code inside. This pack is open at PS5, Switch, Xbox, and Steam. So you can have a box, but also just like you can opt in for a different priced, code in a box.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how you do it. That you give them options.
Yeah.
Give us the options. I'm into that.
I also love that you can get an arcade machine version of it. Anyway, yes, fucking buy it. I can't wait to get it. It's awesome.
Yeah, this resurgence of beat 'em ups, like we're getting a Toxic Crusaders one, the Ninja Turtles one from last year. There's a G.I. Joe one on the way. Now we got Lady Death coming. Like,
all I need now is a fucking Frank Frazetta one. Give me a Frank Frazetta fucking beat 'em up, and I'm good.
Moving on, our next story from Go Nintendo. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door on Switch removes catcalling dialogue.
But that's censorship, Kris.
Here's the thing. You know what? Let me find this tweet real quick, because our friend Jonathan Holmes, he put this better than I could. So let me find this real quick. I can't remember his Twitter name. Oh my god, why is that? Got it. So he said, let me find this. Come on, show up. I know this is great podcasting right here.
It is.
Self-censorship is not censorship by definition. If you choose to edit yourself per your own goals and opinions, that's not censorship. That's just iterating on a draft.
Yeah. No,
See, like,
never mind. Censorship, Kris. People are not allowed to grow.
That's the thing about this. I didn't know. I've never played Thousand Year Door, so like apparently there was a bit in the original. This Go Nintendo article breaks down what the original conversation was. It was a Goomba, a Paragoomba, and a Spike Goomba, and Goombella was apparently who they were catcalling. Hey man, what's up? Who's the hottie you got there with you? What's up, baby? Why don't you hang with us for a while? We play real nice. Man, what's a fine-looking Goomba doing with a tubby mustache man like that? It's like so sweet that you boys think I'm cute. Seriously, yeah, guys like you make me feel like totally barfing. Now get out of our way. Ouch, that was cold. What, are you too good for us? Come off it, sister. Nobody sings us like that. Nobody. Let's get them. So they changed that for the new Switch version. Because, you know, maybe in the family-friendly Mario game, catcalling. Granted, it was villainous characters doing it, but it's like...
Sure, but that's still kind of the problem with it, right? Like, because you got... The beginning of it is innocent is not the right word, but it's innocent enough. But when it gets to the, oh, you turned me down, now I'm coming to get you.
Right.
That's the message that we have just proliferated throughout media that has turned our society into a fucking nightmare. What do you mean you don't like it when I said, hey, nice tits? I gave you a compliment, you bitch. Like that's where that, innocently enough, that's where that shit comes from, you know? And it's like, not fucking okay.
And here's the thing. Nintendo made this game. Nintendo's making this. They have decided to make this change. They're not censoring the original game. This is the remake, and they're changing it because they want to. That's not censorship.
They are allowed to change their own thing.
Censorship is somebody covering up somebody else's stuff. That's not what this is. They could rewrite all the dialogue. I disagree
with all of the changes George Lucas made to the fucking original trilogy. I disagree with every single one that he has made. However, I will defend his right to do so.
Word. Well said.
You know, like, it's just, that. I don't know if you've been following the online discussion of who would you rather be alone in the woods with, a man or a bear?
A little bit.
But there's a reason that everybody picks bear.
Yeah.
There's a fucking reason. It's because we have generations upon generations of boys who have grown up being told that no means try harder.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I was just talking to Karen about this last night, actually, about the bits of eye-openingness that I've learned over the last several years, really over the last 10 years or so, of like, I'm your average, miscellaneous white dude in New Jersey, and like, I had a very skewed perspective of what it was like to be a woman, and I have learned a lot about that in the last several years, and it's fucking horrifying. So,
it's a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare.
I guess I didn't really call this out specifically for many news stories, but there is also the other bit of discourse besides the fans yelling about censorship of removing fucking catcalling from a Mario game. There's the other bit about the 30 frames per second. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is going to run at 30, whereas the original version ran at 60. And
because the Switch can't do it. Like that, it's okay.
Here's the
thing:
it
can't do it for every game.
Here's the thing that a lot of people aren't understanding about this, and it was part of the team that worked on Bayonetta Origins was kind of pointing this out. Like, people are like, well, it can't run an old GameCube game at 60 frames per second. Like, yeah, it can, but this isn't an old GameCube game. This is a from-the-ground-up remake within the Switch's limitations. And in order to make it look the way they want it to look, in order to keep it consistent, they went with 30 frames per second. Is it unfortunate? Yeah. Would it be better if this ran at 60? Absolutely. I know there's some people claiming that there's concerns about timed hits being more difficult at 30 frames per second than 60 frames per second.
Nope.
I say that's complete and utter bullshit. I think I cannot imagine that you are able to perceive,
but it is.
Perceive enough of a difference between the animations, and like I can tell the difference by looking at them. One's 30 and one's 60. But as far as like the timing of hits, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're out of your mind. But yeah, already way too much drama surrounding this game, and like people being like, look, if you don't buy this game, you're sending the message to Nintendo, and then you get into the whole voting with your dollars and like, no, I refuse to support this thing because it's censoring it and it's only going to run at 30 frames per second and it's unacceptable and I refuse to support it. Okay, like just
then don't.
It's
then
exhausting.
Don't and bitch about
just
everything else. It really
is so exhausting because like we're gonna introduce the 1,000-Year Door to an entire new audience. This is the game that this crowd has been holding up as the gold standard for so long. And now it's finally getting a new coat of paint and shared with a whole new audience. And the only thing it's getting met with now is the loudest thing it's getting met with now is just vitriol over dumb shit. Yes, it would be great if it ran at 60 frames per second. No, I think it's great that they're removing the catcalling dialogue from this game. Can't have nice things, Dan. We can't have nice things. But we can have wonderful stories like this. Which I was really hoping by the time I got to this point there would be an explanation for it, but there doesn't appear to be one. Time Extension reports... Google's wildly inaccurate attempt to celebrate Sonic causes complete confusion. Did you read this thread?
No.
It is amazing.
I did not.
It is just Google Play making a bunch of just incredibly factually incorrect statements about the Sonic the Hedgehog series, almost like it was written by AI. Like, Sonic 1991, Sonic, the cover, rotund, husky, still as fast as lightning, the actual game, 8-bit glory.
Nope.
So it's a 16-bit game, and the screenshot the screenshot that they showed is from the 2013 mobile port of Sonic 1, because Tails is in it, who didn't exist until Sonic 2.
There was an 8-bit Sonic.
There was, but that's not this. And it keeps going. Like, it just keeps going. And every single one of them got community notes slapped on them. Like, this thread went, and then eventually, the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter chimed in to say, literally, this is the entire tweet. What are you doing? I fucking love it.
That's great.
What are you doing?
That's great. What are you doing?
And of course, like, you know, lots of other people chiming in, like, this is either a complete fail of a thread or a master stroke to drive engagement. Like, what happened? Why is this?
Well, as you know,
Sonic, he goes 3D again. The community notes, this image is from the 2017 mobile game Sonic Forces Mobile, also known as Sonic Forces Speed Battle. The Sonic games released in 2006 include Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, Sonic 2006, Sonic Riders, and Sonic Rivals. So there were all those games they could have chosen, and instead they chose a screenshot from a game from 2017. What the fuck is going on?
That honestly, that sounds like an engagement strategy more than anything else. It really
We're just
does.
Gonna post a bunch of incorrect shit about Sonic the Hedgehog and see what happens. You know what? I should try that. I should pick a franchise that people love, and I'm just going to create an entire thread of complete nonsense about it.
Samus is allegedly a girl. No, she fucking died.
Next up, Pure Xbox reports. Here's everything that was revealed at April's Xbox Indie Showcase. We got another Indie Showcase, Dan. We just had one from Nintendo, and now we've got one from Xbox.
I heard zero about it. That sucks. Love indie games.
Yeah, there wasn't anything here that really stuck out to me, except for there was a new trailer for Vampire Survivors Contra DLC toward the end.
So good.
Yeah, really, there wasn't...
No Hollow Knight news?
No, no Hollow Knight
maybe
news.
Made it to my purview.
Sulfur looked kind of neat, I think. I can't remember what most of these were. But yeah, it didn't really get my toes tapping. Similar to the Nintendo one. It was just like, yeah, here's some neat looking stuff. Nothing that's really really jumping out at me. But hey, that's 2 indie showcases in a pretty short span of time. But the Vampire Survivors story actually continues a bit more here at Go Nintendo. During that, they didn't just show off the Contra DLC. They also showed off surprise other free DLC. In one of the best trailers I've seen in a good long while. Vampire Survivors Surprise Laboratory Update now live. They just dropped 2 new characters and a bunch of new weapons and a new stage. And a trailer that is just absolutely hysterical. Described as their first quadruple A upgrade. 1 character, 1 secret character, 3 weapons, and 2 stages. Oh, there's 2 new stages. Oh boy. Ooh. This is the other thing I started playing. I've unlocked one of the characters. No, I unlocked one of the characters. I unlocked Santa, but I haven't played as him yet. But I did unlock
Santa?
Santa, yes. I unlocked
like Santa the Claus?
Sort of. It's a Vampire Survivors-esque take on Santa Claus with its own...
I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah, seriously. So that's fun. There's a train... So the level's got a train that you can just summon at any time that'll just ride across the screen and fucking kill everything. And there's amazing. Doors you can open. And I say that because it's something they point out. As they say in the trailer, industry-defining innovations include fully rendered running animations, mind-blowing train physics, go-kart racing, and doors that open. I love this company. I fucking love these guys. They get it.
This is supposed to be fun.
And it is. I haven't played Vampire Survivors in a little while, and like I kind of forgot that there was all this story mode stuff that I never really touched. Like there's so much more Vampire Survivors to play. But now I have these couple new levels, and the new weapons were pretty neat that I found. I just love this game. I just love it to death.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
And like,
I want there
free
to be
update. Of course, I'm going to pay for the Contra one, but like, hooray for another free update! You just drop free shit on us all the time. Crazy people.
Just saying, while you guys are talking to Konami, I really think Metal Gear Solid would be an outstanding crossover with. Just I don't know what the cardboard box weapon is, but like I know it's awesome.
No. The cardboard box is an unlockable character.
That's so much better. It's even better.
Go Nintendo also
attacks
reports
with like packing slips.
Yes. I can't say that I care about this at all. This game doesn't look enticing to me, but I had to mention it. Star Wars Hunters set to launch June 4th, 2024.
Yeah.
Remember Star Wars Hunters?
Free to play, right?
I think so. This was announced in a Nintendo Direct in 2021.
Oof.
Clearly, they thought this game was coming way sooner than it did, because they don't typically show off games in Nintendo Directs that don't come out for a long time.
That
it happens.
Don't come out for 3 more years. Yeah.
It happens. You know, we got Hollow Knight Silk Song was shown off in Nintendo Direct, the Metroid Prime 4, but like
5 years ago.
Those are outliers. Yeah. A fucking Star Wars Fortnite ripoff took this long to come out. I don't know what's going on, but
well, there wasn't a lot. It does make you question it, right? Because there wasn't a lot going on in 2021 that would have distracted anyone from like their work and lives.
Yeah, it was a pretty bland year. Nothing.
Yeah, not a lot happened.
Nothing historically noteworthy.
No, pretty much everybody stayed home. Nothing much went on.
Not for any particular reason. Back to time extension.
No.
You were talking about Evercade before. Evercade Alpha listing hints at new hardware in 2024. But what is it?
Is it VR?
I don't know. Nobody knows. There's a logo. Games. I know they just talked. You know, we just talked a couple of weeks ago about a refresh of Evercade hardware. But whatever Evercade Alpha is, that's a thing that exists. But we don't know what it is.
That's pretty exciting, though.
It is exciting.
They do cool shit, man.
I love exciting stuff. Hooray. Moving on to bad news. Push Square reports Ali Kerbal Space Program teams shut down by GTA publisher. Roll7 and Intercept Games will be shuttered by Take-Two Interactive. As part of its plan to let go of 600 full-time workers to save $165 million annually.
I was going to say $165. I know people are underpaid, but that seems wildly inaccurate. $165 million. Okay. So there are two things here, right? $165 million is not an insignificant amount of money. Unless, of course, you happen to be the publisher owner of Grand Theft Auto.
Indeed.
Then
their president
go
and
ahead
their
and
CEO,
fuck yourself right off a bridge.
Both their president and CEO were paid over $72 million each last year. You telling me you can't afford to keep these companies? According to this article, the last line of this article says that is despite making billions upon billions of dollars as a result of the GTA series. You can fuck right off.
Yeah, it just fuck you, man. Just excruciating
levels of greed. That one is just really rubs me the wrong way. There's this on the opposite side of the spectrum. Not really the complete opposite side of the spectrum, but this one is like... This one's sad for a different reason. Nintendo Life reports Nintendo partner Paladin Studios closes its doors after almost 19 years. This is not a studio that was purchased and then is being shut down to keep somebody rich. This is just, unfortunately, a company that, quote, going further with the current outlook would have been an irresponsible decision that would have likely caused insolvency. We have therefore taken this step to ensure a proper winding down where all employees are given proper severance and the studio remains debt-free. It's a responsible but unfortunate decision. This is the company that made the Good Job with Nintendo. And Good Job was such a good time.
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, that really fucking sucks. It just sucks how much oxygen shit like Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty, but also, and I say this as a huge fan of the game, Spider-Man 2 and Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Like, it sucks how much oxygen the big titles take up from the fucking little ones, you know, or the smaller ones. It's unfortunate. And like it, yeah. But it's hard to tell rich people to not have as much money.
It's true.
'Cause they might be upset.
Right.
And what are they going to do about it?
What are they going to do?
Because they won't have enough money to do anything.
To repair your backup yacht. Like,
I don't know. Ask Ryan.
Exactly. That fat Stone Age gamer cash. Speaking of giant corporations doing things that are confusing, Kotaku reports Helldivers 2 community at war over controversial PSN requirement. Apparently, Helldivers 2 is going to start requiring you to have a PSN account and to be logged into it to play the game.
Right.
On Steam.
Yep. That is not an issue. I mean, it is an issue.
It is.
It's a huge fucking issue. Because the only reason to do that is so that data can then be sold. That's the only reason to do it. But again, like shit we talked about last week, because we're not arguing about the actual facts, the fucking dirty shit that people are trying to do just gets to fall by the wayside. Like, I just shouldn't have to play the fucking game. I blah, blah, blah. I don't want to fucking log into 2 sites. That's just upset. No, be upset that they're trying to fucking sell your data. Like, that's what they're doing.
So
it's not hard to figure out.
According to the article, this kind of lines this up. The 2 sides in the Helldivers 2 Civil War. Generally speaking, looking online, there are 2 sides to the war. One group, made up of mostly PlayStation players, argue that this requirement, while a bit annoying, isn't a big deal. They say that many games require a third-party account, the Steam page has always listed a PSN account requirement, and getting a PlayStation account is fast, easy, and free. On the other side, mainly made up of PC-only or primarily PC players, says this requirement is bullshit. They point out that sure, the store always mentioned the account will be required, but the Sony has not enforced this for months, which they claim suggests it's not needed at all for the game to function, and for folks on PC and PSN to enjoy playing together. Some don't trust Sony with their information either, and others point out a bigger problem. PSN is not available legally in all countries, so PC players in some part of the world might be screwed once Helldivers 2 forces you to have a PSN account to play. So yeah, that's...
those are the actual things to complain about. The more pressing of those two is the fucking data brokering. Yes. That is the shit you should be really upset about.
Which is gross.
It is.
Here, how about some semi good news? Nerdist reports Universal releases Super Nintendo World details for Epic Universe. There's going to be some new rides added to Super Nintendo World. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, Yoshi's Adventure, I think is the new one. And then there's also going to be a Donkey Kong Country. They've finally shown off images of what Donkey Kong Country is going to look like with a minecart stage. And it's all part of this new Epic universe that Universal is coming up with. And it looks super cool. I hope I get to go there someday. I don't know that my plan to get them there next year is actually going to work out. It might take us longer than that, if ever, because, you know, we're not independently
the universe and everything.
Exactly. Life, the universe, and everything. We know where our towels are. We just don't know where their paychecks are.
I'm so excited to go to the Epic Universe thing. I really, really am. We're going to make it down there at some point. The kids have to go see the fucking How to Train Your Dragon shit. They have to go see, like, we have to fucking do it at some point. God, do I not want to go back to Florida. Oh, I just fucking hate that state so much. It's just garbage. But we gotta go before climate change wipes it off the map any damn way.
That's true. I don't know what they're doing building more shit in Florida.
I don't... where else are you going to put it, though? Like, that's the problem.
Canada.
Like, they've already got all the land. Yeah, but they don't want us there. Canada's like, oh, you're American? Fuck off. You'd have to put it in, like, I don't know, like fucking Tennessee, maybe? Somewhere in that genital vicinity? I don't fucking know. Okay. That's right, I said genital.
You sure did. Oh my goodness.
I am excited to go, though. It does look really fucking cool.
It does. All right, time for the big one.
Just, where's my Kid Icarus world?
I think the more pressing question, where the fuck is my new Donkey Kong Country game? You're building a Donkey Kong Country theme park, and it's been like a decade since you made a new Donkey Kong game. What's going on?
I don't know. The saddest part about all of this, though, Chris, is that, like, Tiff and the girls are super excited about all the new shit. And I have to go on the Spider-Man ride again. I don't know that this next time I go on will be the very last time I go on, but it's just the Spider-Man 3D ride at Islands of Adventure is my favorite thing ever. Have you ever been on it?
No, I haven't.
You've never been to it, right? Okay.
No, I have not.
It's just the best fucking ride that there has ever been. It's the fucking best. And you go in, and everything is just the Spider-Man cartoon, and, like, oh my god, it's just fucking great. And the dialogue, like, as Spidey jumps on top of the scoop, which is the car that you're in, jumps on there, he's like, this could be the most dangerous night of my life. And yours. It's fucking awesome. Oh my god, there's pumpkin bombs. It's the fucking best shit ever. I fucking love it so much. And I have not been on that ride for the last time. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much.
Well, that just leaves.
Sorry.
Time Extension reports Limited Run Games apologizes for shipping 3DO games on CDRs. So, they've been pumping up some 3DO re-releases, including D and Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. And
gotta get the D.
Yeah, love the D. Our friend Todd from Retrofrog was the one who broke the story on Twitter. Limited Run Games is shipping out 3DO games on CDR rather than press discs. And the best part, they won't even work. That's a different podcast. They won't even work on real hardware. See, the thing about the CDRs is that they're pretty unreliable in general. They have a much shorter shelf life than a press disc. But besides that, the 3DO, there are so many different models of 3DO. A lot of models just won't read them anymore. I have a similar situation. I have two 3DOs. One of them will read some of my burnt discs because I had a whole mess of burnt discs. My other one will not read them at all anymore. So all those games are basically just coasters now. They're useless to me. Yeah. Which is a bummer because I had the Super Street Fighter burnt copy of that. Which, I used to love playing that. But, so, what's really disturbing about this is that these are being sold on Limited Run as premium things, right? Everything I get from Limited Run has been like, it's an official Nintendo Switch cartridge or something, right? Like, you're going to sell this as a premium product, and you're not going to press the discs. That seems really junky to me, and this is not the first time they've done that. I don't know that I was fully aware of it. I know there was something wrong with that Monkey Island collection that I bought from them. Yeah. Besides the names being printed out of order on the side of the box, but there was a disc that one of the CD-ROMs just doesn't work, and they sent replacements out, but those replacements were not pressed; they were on CDRs.
Which is it's fucking unacceptable.
That's really what it comes down to.
It's unfucking acceptable.
It is unacceptable.
I have said on this podcast numerous times that I can't always quite put my finger on it, but I just don't fucking like that company. I don't like what they do. I don't like the whole limited gaming thing. I understand the necessity of them, but this, they're saying the quiet part out loud here. This, to me, reads as nothing more than an admission that they are not selling you games to play. They are selling you boxes to keep shrink-wrapped and flip at some point. That's who they are. Like, that's what they care about.
I mean, that is certainly one way to read it. I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know.
This
honestly,
particular situation,
I don't know how you can read it any other way.
Well, this particular situation,
I wish I could.
Can either be grossly negligent or just flat out irresponsible. Like they said on their response to this was, manufacturing games for hardware that is 30 plus years old presents a variety of challenges. We partner with one of the biggest disk replication providers in North America to press our physical disks, and despite researching original 3DO hardware and software extensively, we found quality and reliability issues when attempting to press 3DO disks in the traditional manner. In an attempt to offer full compatibility with original hardware, our disk replication partner was able to successfully manufacture the disks using a CDR format, which we believed would work across all commercially available 3DO systems. This process was professionally done and was used to ensure maximum compatibility rather than serve as a cost-cutting exercise. We tested the disks on the 3DO consoles in our office, and all 5 disks from the game worked as expected. It was only upon shipping to our customers that we came to realize that some users were experiencing difficulty. We will not be selling or shipping further copies of this game or any future 3DO titles until the situation has been resolved. We're currently working with new partners to find a solution for traditionally pressed discs, and will offer replacement discs to all customers. We'll keep customers updated as this progresses, but in the meantime, any customers who desire can request a full refund at limitedrungames.com/support. Yeah. So here's the problem with that. The problem with that
We're sorry we got caught.
That is one way of reading that. If what they're saying is genuine, there's no way they don't know. There's no way these people who work at Limited Run,
nope.
Right? We know these people who work at Limited Run. There's no way they didn't know that the CDR format does not last very long. That is a nope. format that degrades.
It's not news.
If we are to take their word at face value that they tested these discs on 3DO consoles in their office, how do you know so little about 3DO to not go out and test these games on every version of the system you can find? There is a company, a person actually, that we work with to make the Bluetooth CDI controller adapter. Yeah. This is a extremely tiny operation, and this person has tracked down as many models of the CDI as they can. A more obscure system than the 3DO. They have tracked down as many versions of this platform as possible to make sure that this accessory works with as many consoles as possible. Now, you're telling me that Limited Run Games is so ignorant of the intricacies of the 3DO. Now, I know that there are several different flavors of 3DO console that you need to test if you're going to make sure that something like this is going to work. That the notion that they did not know that there were at least 7 or 8 versions of 3DO that they needed to test these in before shipping them out, before saying that, okay, this CDR format may not be optimal, but it's the best way that we can ensure that this will work on all 3DO systems. If I'm to take this...
Well, that's just flatly not true.
It can't be. And also, I don't know what they're talking about. I know I'm not an expert, but as far as I know, 3DO games they're not PlayStation black discs. They're not Dreamcast GD-ROMs. they're just CDs. As far as I know, there isn't something unique about 3DO game pressing that makes it different than just pressing CDs. So I don't understand why they're saying that, like, pressing the games in a traditional manner was some sort of issue. And now, again, I am not the expert.
Because they press too hard?
I don't know. I'm not the expert. I do know.
Or not hard enough?
That pressing CDs ain't that hard. My friggin' the band I was in right after high school got our band's CDs pressed, okay? If
20 years ago.
If I can do that shit, you can do that shit.
If you can do it 20 years ago. Like, 20 years ago. Not a week ago. We're not that young. Man.
According to someone named Krista Lee, quote, the nature of CDR, which uses a layer of dye higher up in the disk's substrate that a writer etches away to approximate the pits and lands of a compact disc, is something that the 3DO's very primitive and delicate laser really will not tolerate. I know this from servicing them. I mean, look, I do not have nearly the issues that most people do with limited run. I am overall a fan of what I have gotten from them and the things that they have brought to market that would not otherwise exist, right? But I'm having a hard time with this one. I don't find it as fun to dogpile on this company as a lot of people on the internet do. They're a very easy villain to poke at. But I don't know, man. You're charging $64.99 for D. You're charging $69 for plumbers who don't wear ties. Like, what? This just seems grimy. I cannot fathom anything other than we're sorry that we got caught and we did this to save money. Like, the notion that this was done for any other reason than to be a cost-cutting measure. I can't reconcile that in my brain as a logical thing to do. I don't understand how the people who work at this company, right? There are people who work at this company.
This is their whole business.
This is their whole thing, and
it's your whole thing.
Have done a lot for game preservation, and they seem like pretty serious people about doing this right and trying to make things better within their company. I don't understand how those people saw this and said, yes, printing on CDRs is going to be just fine for people who are willing to shell out money for a fucking physical 3DO game in 2024.
Yeah.
How much? Let's go to the old price charting here for a second. Because I'm curious, how much does D for 3DO cost? D, oh my fucking god, are you serious? Are you serious?
That, your reaction, hold on, before you give the price, your reaction is the problem I have with these companies. That right there, whatever price you're going to say, is the issue that I have.
Is this different? Okay. So here, there was like a collector's version. I'm trying to see if there was a different flavor out there that perhaps there's something I'm missing here. Let's see. Filter by console, 3DO. Yeah, no, there's just the one. D for 3DO, a complete in-box copy is trending at $42. A good 20 some odd dollars less than this new version that you can get from Limited Run.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking...
That doesn't fucking work.
A lot of the stuff they do is like, okay, I get it. Like Shantae for Game Boy Color. You could buy a real copy for $500, or you could buy this copy for $40 or $50. I get that. But what are we doing here? Like, I get that this collector's edition supposedly has some sort of, like, extra poster or something in it.
I hate the preying on FOMO. I hate man, I just don't like it. I just don't.
And, like, I know there was a big part of it when they started, and I don't see that as a big part of their business now. They give open pre-order windows. They set the pre-order time for, like, months and be like, look, you have all of this time. We're going to shout it from the rooftops. If you want this game, this is when we're pressing it. This is when we're making it. We'll make as many as people want us to make. Obviously, nobody keeps anything. And that's the other piece of this that kind of annoys me, where looking at this situation now of just like, oh, they're just there to prey on FOMO. Like, well, nothing stays in print forever. Like, everything is a limited print run to an extent. That this is slightly more limited because they're not Nintendo, but, like, every game does not stay in print in perpetuity for an entire console's life cycle. That's just not the way it goes. So, like, this isn't that different from just regular retail anymore. Like, that's where we're at now with these open pre-orders like that. This is not that different from regular retail run games. It's more limited, but it's not what it used to be, where it's like, pre-orders are open.
We're making
for
7
minutes. Yeah, we're making 20 copies and that's it. We're done. Like, that's just not where we are anymore.
Yeah.
But this whole situation with the CDRs, man, I don't know. That does not.
Yeah,
that really rubs me the wrong way. This is just grimy.
It feels really gross.
It does.
It feels really gross.
And it really makes me wonder what the fuck is going on with that copy of Rondo of Blood that they were talking about. They announced that a couple of years ago, that they're making retail North American versions. But that's just it. Like, the music CD that's included in this collection is pressed.
Right.
And that's what to a degree makes me think that they're not completely full of shit when they say that they believed what they were doing when putting the game on the CDRs instead of a pressed disc. That there's some nugget of truth in there, that someone somewhere thought this was a better idea. Because why else would, like, the soundtrack be burnt but this not be? I don't know. It's so freaking confusing.
None of it makes any sense.
Clearly,
it really doesn't.
A lot of this that we don't know. Like, there's definitely more to the story than they're saying. And I'm sure some of it's nefarious and some of it's honest mistakes. But I don't see how anyone looked at this and said, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
But, like, you're the guys who are doing the carbon engine thing. Like, you should know better. Right? Like, you should just know better.
I fully agree.
I dislike it. I
dislike it too. But on that note, it's time for us to take another break. We're going to take a commercial break here. We're going to pay some bills, as it were. Sure. Let's say that.
What bills are we paying? I got a couple.
When we come back, we are going to. It's time for the Alphabet Super Series. We're going to talk about my pick, Montezuma's return for Game Boy Color. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Continue to stick around. Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
When you hear the words cross-stitch, you probably think of a grandma lovingly making a Christmas stocking, a picture of a lighthouse, or maybe a Bible verse with flowers. But that's not what we do at Shoot the Moon Stitches. We take the old-fashioned art of cross-stitch and pair it with contemporary themes and imagery to create striking works of art that make the perfect gift for anyone who grew up with the internet and has a wicked sense of humor and an appreciation for pop culture. From cult favorite TV shows and movies, to retro video games, to TikTok trends. If it's made you smile, chances are we've stitched it. You can shop our selection of art and gifts by going to Etsy.com and searching Shoot the Moon Stitches. For all your fun, feminist, fandom fiber art needs, visit Shoot the Moon Stitches.
All right, everybody, we're back. Welcome to the Alphabet Super Series. This is a bit that we do here on the podcast where once a month, Dan and I take turns choosing a different game for the next letter of the alphabet. Something old that we haven't played through, or something that we should experience or think the other people should experience. I don't know. We're up to the letter M, and it was my pick, and so I chose a game called Montezuma's Return. Montezuma's Return released in December 1998 for Game Boy Color. There was a black and white version for the original Game Boy released in Europe, but I don't believe that actually came out in the States. There was also a 3D, fully polygonal 3D PC game released in October under the same name that same year, and it is absolutely not that game because it is my understanding that game is the hottest of garbage. This is a sequel to Montezuma's Revenge, which I learned today was a euphemism for diarrhea.
You learned that today?
I had never heard that before. I went to do a Google search on Montezuma's Revenge and got a bunch of results about diarrhea. I was like, what the fuck? Then I started chuckling, and as soon as I said the name of the game out loud, Karen started laughing. I was like, what is so funny? And she's like, for diarrhea. I was like, oh.
I would have preferred that this game be about diarrhea, Kris.
Montezuma's Revenge is a 1984 game designed by Robert Yeager for the Atari 800. Was picked up for distribution by Parker Brothers, who released it for everything from various other home computers to the Atari 2600, 5200, and the ColecoVision. Robert Yeager also designed the sequel, which never really took off in any way. Now look, I understand that there are some folks who didn't like this game as much as I do. Let me explain myself.
Please fucking do.
I am a big fan of the classic NES game Spelunker. Have you played Spelunker?
Sure.
Spelunker is a great game. I like Spelunker a lot.
I like Spelunky.
There you go. Back in
That's a good game too.
1998, we here in North America, we didn't get any sort of follow-ups, or there weren't other games that were really like Spelunker, at least none that I was aware of. So one day, working in Funcoland, as I did, I would sometimes go to the Game Boy section and pick up something I had never played and give it a whirl. And so I popped in Montezuma's Return, really not thinking I was going to get anything out of it. And I was immediately taken by its visuals, right? Game Boy Color. This is a pretty nice looking game. It is a pretty nice looking game. It's very well animated. And there's little skulls rolling around and whatnot. Looks super cool. I liked the music a lot straight away. I thought the game sounded really good. And then I died immediately because I fell from a height. And then I was like, oh, this is just like Spelunker. And then immediately after dying, I saw like your spare lives are literal other yous just waiting to start playing the game. And I just started laughing. And I was like, oh, this is just charming as shit. I love this. And I wouldn't say I put a ton of time into it, but I would play it periodically while I was at work. I wound up buying that copy and bringing it home. And I'd play a little bit of it from time to time and see how far I could get. Not super far, but like I really enjoyed it because it was a really hard game. It wasn't anything I put a ton of time into. And that's why I really enjoyed it, because I really just enjoyed it on a superficial level. It wasn't until I really tried to get into the game and see what else it had to offer where the flaws really start shining through pretty significantly. But like on the surface level, there really is a lot to like about this game. Like it's got a really good look. It's got a lot of fun design ideas. And I really like the soundtrack. It's just the execution past the first like 10 minutes is really kind of shit. There's a lot of problems.
Hard agree. I fucking hated this game, Kris. I hated this so much. I'm just too fucking old for this kind of thing. I died in this game so fucking fast, and it just infuriated me from like the very second, because I saw like, this looks pretty good, and like, I'm jumping down the thing and I'm dead. Okay, fuck. All right, no problem. All right, let me go down here. Let me try going up on this other side, and I'm going to jump over to this. Nope, couldn't jump to that. Nope, I'm dead. Okay, I got 2 lives left. Fuck, like, I'm dead. I've had this game on for 3 minutes, and I've gotten a game over. I made it to, like, the 3rd fucking screen, and what is happening? And what really frustrated me about this game was that I wanted actively to get better at it, and it did not seem that was possible because the game itself is pretty shit.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that you really need to memorize. Like, that seems like this is the whole point of this game, is memorizing.
But you need to memorize the broken mechanics of it as well. There's like
these
one area
are going to sporadically disappear.
Yeah, but even beyond that, there's one area where there's a jump that you can make, except there's like a little tiny bit of the fucking top of the stage that sticks down, and if you don't jump at the exact pixel perfect moment, which is impossible because the controls fucking suck, you smack your head into the top of it and fall straight to your death. And it was like, fuck you. I don't have time to like, it just doesn't fucking function.
Yeah, that is certainly an issue as you get as the further you get into this game. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for it because It's ridiculous, and I do think it's very charming, and it reminded me so much of Spelunker, but it's just not as well designed as Spelunker. Like, Spelunker is super problematic in so many degrees of, like, there are so many parts of that game where you'll try to jump and that just doesn't do what you're trying to make it do. And this game doesn't run into as many of those specific problems as Spelunker, but Spelunker is built around like being able to see more of what's around you and keeping track of where you're going. This game, I think, really suffers from being on the Game Boy Color and not having a bigger screen, more screen real estate to work with, and also suffers from not having a more detailed map, I think. But there are so many fun ideas in it, and watching, I've played this game dozens of times. I played a refresher for like, I don't know, a half an hour or something this week just to be like, I know this game pretty well. I've never beaten it and I'm never going to. I don't have any interest in beating my head against the wall, but I do like the notion of picking it up and playing it for a little while just to see how far I can get. But then watching, a YouTube playthrough of the game and seeing how much more it has to offer, and like, the way the combat system works. Like, the combat system is collect knives, and if you have a knife and you get hit by an enemy, then that enemy dies and you lose the knife. And like, that's how you wind up beating the game's bosses, which is like, it's crazy to me that this game has bosses. And those bosses are like static images that like stomp their feet, and you have to like jump past them with knives enough times to kill them. It's such a weird,
but you can't
thing.
Carry enough knives to actually kill them. You have to leave the boss fight to go get more knives.
Yeah.
Stop it. That's fucking dumb.
I didn't actually hate that, right? Because for me, it's just like, all right, how am I going to manage? It's this interesting inventory management thing. Yeah, it is kind of dumb, but I also didn't actually hate that because it seemed to really play into the general idea of this game as being this like very puzzly sort of like, all right, how am I supposed to approach this and survive? And it is very, very, it is designed with such an ancient design philosophy of just like, nah, fuck you. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And again, I found it super charming for like a half an hour. This is a neat little thing that, as long as you don't look at it too hard, is a neat little thing. I'll always have a soft spot for it. But no, once this game started, like I started to put some scrutiny into it, it really fell apart.
Yeah, I can see the more masochistic among us enjoying this game quite a bit. Because like you said, there is a decent amount of stuff there to be like, there's something fucking here. And critically, like, it has good ratings.
It does.
Not the best ratings in the world, but like it's got, a bunch of 7s and 8s and, 70-80%, like however you want to like,
well, because for the people who like these kinds of games, like the kinds of like, this is a game that you're designed to just die over and over and over and over again. And there's a whole genre of games that are dedicated just to that kind of thing. And for what it is attempting to do, I have to assume it's at least pretty fun. It's got some pretty ridiculous faults. And I'm so angry that it's so expensive. I was just looking like, I have my loose copy, and the loose copy is only worth like $11, but a complete copy $65. It's like, who wants this game? I want this game complete in the box, but we didn't get it complete in the box. We never got new copies at my store. I only ever saw the used one, which I bought. I would love to have a box copy, but I assume that at least this one being complete in box being expensive is probably because it is legitimately uncommon. However, according to GameEye, box only is $10. So like, all right, what the hell? eBay, help me out here. What's cooking with Montezuma's return, not revenge? Montezuma's return. What's cooking with this? There's a complete copy listed for $50. I really do like this game's soundtrack. Like I cannot stress that enough. I enjoyed the hell out of the music. I found the
soundtrack to be getting quite annoying after a while of just constant death and that same fucking music.
But if you watched any YouTube playthroughs, the music does change quite a bit throughout the course of the game. There's a bunch of songs.
No, I know. Yeah. I got to a bunch of the different music. Like I started making my way through it. I was just really fucking frustrated.
Well, bless your heart for actually putting the time in to try to make your way through it. I should have warned you that that wasn't my intent for you to try to beat the game. Like,
I know, but like you know me.
I do.
I keep trying.
Yeah, nobody's selling the box for this game for any sort of reasonable price.
My kid's playing fucking Inscription, so I'm going to come down here and play fucking Montezuma's Revenge.
God, the PC version is way more expensive. That one, there's one copy up here for $300 goddamn dollars. Montezuma's Return. I forget what the actual 3D version of this game looks like, but I remember it not being very good. Because, like, I can't imagine this working well in 3D. I just can't. There's just...
No. There's no way.
Like, this can't be good. It just can't be. God. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm watching some gameplay, and it's it's like first person Tomb Raider. It's first person. Good lord.
Ew.
This really does look like a late 90s PC game. That is exactly what I have to say about this. Yeah, that gets all the nope from me. I got no interest in that. Yikes. That's funny. Look, I'm sorry. I get a kick out of this game. It's okay. I was hoping that other folks would find this as charming as I did. When I first saw that lineup of other main characters just waiting to die, like your literal lives waiting to jump into the game, I just thought that was a funny gag. I got a kick out of this game.
Like I said, I wanted to get better. I wanted to like this. I just don't see it in there.
No,
and maybe that's a me thing. Maybe I'm just too old at this point, like.
But whatever but getting good at this would take time. Like, this is the kind of thing that would just, you really got to dedicate the time to. And yeah, I'm with you. I can't dedicate the time to this. So like, it's just a fun thing to pick up from now and then and be like, this is a neat game. Somebody other than me would probably finish it someday. But that ain't
all right. No.
Yeah, I think I've spoken about all I can speak to about this game. There's not a lot to say about it. I think it's a really neat.
No.
I think it's a really neat.
I think it's worthwhile to play.
It is.
I do think it is worth playing.
It is not worth playing through, and I should have warned anybody who was going to play along about that. This is absolutely not the kind of game you want to dedicate a ton of time to.
No.
But playing casually for a few minutes and say, this is a neat-looking game.
Yeah.
Montezuma's Revenge for Coleco. See, if I remember correctly, the ColecoVision, or like those rolling skulls, were also in the ColecoVision game, and I think they were super well animated there too. By ColecoVision standards, yes, they are. Like that's another one of those things. It's not a terrible looking ColecoVision game. Let's say the same basic principles around it. Yeah, give it a try if you're so inclined. I think you should. And that wraps it up for Montezuma's Return on Game Boy Color. Dan, you're up next for the letter N. What is our homework? What are we playing next? Apparently people like your choices a hell of a lot better than mine.
Well, I know. Now I feel like there's a lot of fucking pressure.
I didn't realize it was a competition. I thought,
of course, it's a fucking competition. No, there's no fun. Everything is fun. No, I'm just kidding. Man, like I've been waffling on what I wanted to pick, because like my original thought was like fucking Nightmare Creatures. That's what I think we should play. I don't know why I thought that. That's not what we're playing. And then I thought Night Trap for a little bit. I did honestly think Night Trap. But as I mentioned to you earlier today, Kris, as much fun as it would be to torture you by making you play Night Trap, I don't want to have to fucking play Night Trap. And I would have to play Night Trap. And there's just, like NHL 97 or 94, I mean, NHL or NFL Quarterback Club 98, obviously, of the quarterback clubs, the best one. But today I've been waffling between the game that I have ultimately selected and the game that is the runner-up, which is the Ninja for Sega Master System. Because it's basically like fucking Akari Warriors and Commando, but you're a ninja. But that's not the one we're doing. Maybe next time. I do really fucking love that game. But no, we are going to play also for the Sega Master System, also starring a ninja. We are going to play the Sega Master System version of Ninja Gaiden.
An excellent, excellent pick.
I really fucking love this game.
I haven't played this in
a whole bunch,
ages.
and I haven't played it in a long time.
It has been a minute.
A long, long time.
All right. Good pick.
And I am 99% sure, I am searching our website now, that I have done a pairing somewhere with Ninja Gaiden.
A Bits and Brews, maybe?
Nah, a Kung Fu Fridays.
Oh.
A Kung Fu Fridays. Ninja Gaiden and a Touch of Zen was the article from back in 2018.
We've been at this for too long.
We
Speaking
really
of being
have.
at this for too long, we've been at this tonight
Touch
for
of
too long.
Zen's a dope-ass movie. We took a long break in the middle, but you are correct.
Yeah, it's late. I got to get up to do some chores and watch Star Wars in the morning. So that is our show. Your homework is Ninja Gaiden for Sega Master System. An excellent choice by Dan. And that's it. Join us next time when we will have the immortal John Hancock on the show. We'll be asking him all manner of questions about his recent Atari releases and how he feels about bread, because that's what we do. Should be a good time.
That's right.
Yeah, we were told we should have more people on the show. We should do more interviews and have more guests. So here we are, trying, putting forth the effort. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.